Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jacinta. It is your first time here. Thank you for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut and sew the skirt, how to join the skirt with the upper parts, how to drape, and how to go about the making of the sleeves. If it's what you love to learn, kindly watch to the end. And if you've not watched the other two videos, I'll be dropping the link in the description box. If you're yet to subscribe, please hit on the subscribe button below and also turn on your notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Without wasting much time, let's get started with this tutorial. I'll be making use of this doll face fabric as the lining for the skirt. So I've gone ahead to fold it into two. I'm going to draw a starting line. This starting line is also going to be my waistline. Placing my tape on the waistline, I will mark 9.5 inches downwards as my hip line. So the half inch I included is for turning at the waistline. Okay, I will also mark the knee line, which is 24 inches, and the full length, which is 40 inches. I'll square across these lines. On the waistline, I will mark quarter of my waist circumference and add 2 inches sewing allowance. I'm going to do a hip allocation on the hip. Now for this front hip, I'm going to divide my hip circumference by 2. Whatever I get, I will minus 1 inch from it, then divide it again by 2. That's what I'm going to be marking on this front hip. So it's half of my hip circumference minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, then I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance. On my knee, I'm going to minus 3 inches from the hip circumference and divide by 4. I don't want the knee to be too tight because I'm making this dress for a matured lady. I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance. Then on the full length, I'll minus half inch from whatever I marked on my knee line. Okay, I'll minus half inch from whatever measurements I marked on the knee line, and I'll add extra 2 inches sewing allowance. Afterwards, I'm going to connect this and cut it out.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in.
For the back piece, I'll fold my fabric into two and place the front piece on it. Then I will leave 2 inches at the center back for zip allowance. At the waistline, I will mark 1 inch at the side back for my dart. Okay, the back is only the back that will have dart, the front will not have dart. For the back hip, I'll divide my hip circumference by 2 and add 1 inch. The 1 inch we minus from the front hip. Those are going to add to this back hip. Then we add that 1 inch. You're going to divide it again. Whatever you get is going to be what you're going to mark on this back hip. You're going to start your measurement from the side so that the front and back sides will align. You first of all mark out 2 inches for the sewing allowance on the side before imputing the measurement you got. Then you're going to add 1 inch. You're going to add 1 inch to the center back for the zip allowance. All the other measurements remains the same. They're going to add 1 inch at the center back for zip allowance. Afterwards, they'll connect and cut it out.
To golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire.
I'll mark 4 inches inwards from the center front for my back dart and notch it. I'm going to be cutting the front and back piece on my lace.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels.
After cutting, I'm going to minus 1 inch from the doll face at the full length because the doll face and the lace is not going to be the same length. Okay, so I'll minus 1 inch from the doll face full length. I'll do the same for the back piece after cutting it.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side.
While cutting the lace at the down part, do not cut it straight. Follow the shape of the design.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right.
After cutting, I'm going to break the beads on the lace so that it will not break my needle when I'm sewing. The only part where you'll be breaking is where you are going to sew, about 2.5 inches. The allowance and the zip side, then the upper part. After breaking the beads, I'm going to join it to the doll face. To do that, I'm going to place the doll face. The wrong side of the doll face is going to be facing the right side of the lace. Okay, the wrong side of the doll face is going to be facing the right side of the lace, so that when you turn, this shiny part is going to be reflecting inside the lace. Okay, so I'll go over to my machine now, and I'm going to use 1/2 inch to join the upper part and the two sides. Then I'm going to fold the hem of the doll face, only the doll face. The lace is not going to, the hem of the lace is not going to be folded. Okay, so I'll do this for both this front piece and the back piece. And make sure you pin before sewing. It is very important. I was done joining the front part of this skirt, so this is it, and I've also turned to the right side. Okay, I'm going to sew the back piece, and also mark the dart. I'll mark the dart for the back piece. After turning it, that is where you're going to sew your dart. I was done joining the front and back piece, and this is it. So what I'm going to do now is to give it a very good ironing so that it will relax. What I'm going to do now is to join the zip allowance and attach my zip. I marked 20 inches upwards from the full length for the slit, and for the zip I marked 8 inches downwards from the waist. The remaining part of the zip allowance, I'm going to be closing it. I was done attaching the zip. What I'm going to do now is to close the two sides. So I've placed the front and the back, front facing front, and I've pinned it down. I'll close the two sides using 1.5 inch from the waist to the full length, and that will be all for the sewing of the skirt. Now for the sleeve, I'm going to first of all draw out the shape of the sleeve. So whatever exaggerated sleeve or structured sleeve you're giving to do, you first of all draw out the shape or the design on your pattern paper before cutting it on the hard gum or a clean or in whatever interfacing you're going to use to make it to stand. So this is me drawing out the shape of the structured sleeve that my client wanted. So after drawing this shape, I'm going to cut it out on a very hard gum. So I was done drawing the shape of my sleeve, and this is what it looks like. It looks like a crown. I'm going to be cutting it out on my gum. The gum I'm making use of is called a hard collar gum. So I'm going to be cutting 2 of this hard collar gum for each sleeve. For each sleeve, I'm going to cut 1 piece of lace and 2 pieces of this doll face. One piece of the doll face is going to be used to line the lace, and the other doll face will serve as lining for the sleeve. So I'm going to join one of the doll face and the lace together. I was done joining the doll face and the lace together. I'm going to gum my hard gum on this one that has the lace.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
After gumming, I'm going to place the lining underneath. The lining is going to be facing the lace. Following the shape of my sleeve, I'm going to sew very close to the sleeve. I'm just going to follow the shape and stitch it together. I will also close the 2 sides. The only place that will be left open is the bottom part. This is where I'm going to be turning it from. I was done joining. I'm going to trim off the excess fabric, then turn to the right side and iron it.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this.
I'll fold in the bottom part and secure it with a stitch. I was done with that. I'm going to attach it to the armhole of my dress. And that will be all for the sleeve. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to fit this dress on my client. So she have worn the top and the skirt, okay? So I'm going to be pinning it. I'm going to be pinning the skirt and the top together. Then after that, I'll use my chalk to mark where I'm going to be cutting out the style she wants. Okay, so you can do any style of your choice. After marking it, I'm going to cut it out. Then I'll fold it in and use my thread and needle to tack it like this. This is how I'm going to be tacking it all the way to the end. After tacking comes the beading before draping.
If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire.
And lastly, I'm going to be doing the wrapper draping on my mannequin. You can also do this on your client. It's actually best to do this on your client so that when you are draping it, she will see how it looks on her. Like I said, you are going to bead before you drape if you are to bead. So that will be all for the making of this dress. If you find this video helpful and you've learned something, please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It encourages me to make more tutorials. And do not forget to turn on your notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire.